What is going on, everybody? How we doing? We are back with the Mrgeorgemfshow. My people, listen, it's been a long ass time, and I'm talking a good minute since I've been up here, you guys. I don't want to say we took a hiatus. I stopped focusing on this channel. I'll put it like that. I've been more focused on my gaming channel and reaction channel. That I stopped recording, the Georgia Meth shows and everything like that. But we're back, my people. We're back. I promise I'm going to be more consistent. I know I missed a lot of stuff, a lot of opportunities like the Rafael Devers situation, trade deadline, everything like that. But we're back, my people, and I'm going to put full focus into this. Trust me, 100%. But let's get started here. Let's not jabber and jaw on too much. Let's get started. You guys know the positive quote section. Let's do this. Here's the quote for today, my people. Listen up. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Beautiful quote by the legend, the GOAT, Martin Luther King, my people. So from what I took from this is negativity cannot drive out negativity. Only the positive can do that. Hate, you're going to have people hate. It's going to happen. But only love can do that. So it's how could I put it? Listen, you're one thing. I've learned a lot of things as time has gone by. I've learned a lot of interesting things in life about us beautiful creatures, human, in life, society. Here's one thing that I want to relate to that quote. It may not be similar, but it's possibly in the same topic. When you stop caring about people's opinion about you, you're going to be way happier. That's one thing that I've learned and that I've understood over the years. Because I'll be honest, I used to be one of those folks, I want to say, let's say 7th grade, 6th grade, maybe 8th grade, who would be worried about how I was dressed, what type of haircut I got, what kind of phone did I have, what kind of shoes did I have, everything like that. Because I was so worried about what the other person was going to say, what were they going to react, what were they going to do, all that. But if I'm going to be honest, the moment I felt way happier was when I just stopped giving a shit what people said. And when I say that, I mean, where I wore whatever I wanted. I got the whatever shoes I wanted. I did whatever I wanted and all that. And I didn't care what anybody said. And here's why I say, like I said earlier, when you don't care about what people think or say, you're happier. You know why? Because let's say, for example, you want to do a certain thing, but because you're worried about what so and so is going to say, what this and that, you're not going to do it. So you're going to you're going to risk your happiness over someone else's opinion. When in reality, if you don't give a shit what that person says, you're going to be happy and you're going to do whatever you want because you don't care. And that's the most important thing. I think we have to understand as a society, it don't matter what you say, what you do. It don't matter. We got to forget about that bullshit of First Amendment, freedom of speech bullshit. I think that amendment is full of shit. And here's why. People don't care if you have an opinion. You can have a freedom of speech, whatever. People don't care. Because think about it. I just saw the other day, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce his name, Charlemagne God, something like that, co-host and on the Breakfast Club. He gave his opinion on a show and all that. And the president of the United States, hear that again, the president of the United States had something to say, literally. So, and it wasn't good. So we have to understand as a society that, listen, it don't matter what you do, what you say, all that. People are always going to have an opinion about you. It could be good or bad. It's your choice to either listen to it or do whatever you want. That's the best way I could put it, because it's like, trust me, and I say it because I mean it. The moment you don't care what people say and you do what you want to do, as long as it don't affect you negatively and it's not something bad, you're going to be so peaceful. It's going to be way better. Life is going to be way much smoother. Trust me. But that's going to be the positive vibe quote for today. For anybody that's new, I always like to do this before I start the show. I always want to spread positivity. I think in life we have so much negativity, so much negative thoughts. It could be anything from finances, family, friends, our children, something like that, for example. It could be anything. And I think sometimes just a sprinkle of positive thoughts into your brain helps out a lot. But let's get into it. All right. So let's start off with the first topic here, my people. I think it's very necessary. My team, the New York Mets, you guys, we're struggling. And we're struggling to the point where we have a 300 plus roster and payroll of we have a $300 million payroll, and we're playing like full of shit. We're playing like dog shit. Let's keep it like that. So let me give you all some numbers. Since June 13th, our offense is 30th in runs per game, 3.91, 29th in average, 224, 28th in extra base hit, 119, 29th in OPS, .666. Think about it. You think Steve Cohen is happy? You think David Stern's happy? And most importantly, you think us Met fans are happy that our 750 or 700 and whatever, how much it is, $1 million player, $765 million player, and our $341 million player are playing like full of shit? That being Lindor and Juan Soto. Think about it. Lindor is our little leadoff hitter, and he's 7 for his last 39 with an average of 179, my people. Nimmo is 5 for 36 with an average of 138, and Soto's 8 for 37 with an average of 216. Alonso, who's playing for a contract technically, is 9 for his last 37 with an average of 243. What like those are supposed, I say those 4 Pacific players because those are supposed to be the best players in our lineup. Those are supposed to be the players that take the charge. And instead, they aren't doing jack shit. You guys, we have fallen now behind 4.5 games behind the Phillies when we were head to toe every single time. We are almost 5 games behind the Phillies in first place. We are 2 games. The Reds are 2 games away from us from the wild card race. So, to put it in short terms, we could be this close to not making the playoffs. A team that has Lindor, Alonso, Nimmo, Soto, Francisco Alvarez, Ronnie Mauricio, Brett Beatty, Mark Vientos, Cedric Mullins are this close to looking ugly, to not even making the playoffs, for crying out loud, because we're already in August. There's only 1 month or 2 months, a month and a couple of weeks of baseball left, and we're in playoffs. And we're about to literally give all of our fans a headache, or give us a headache. To think about it, how do you think Steve Cohen's gonna feel spending all that money, and us fans are over here like, bro, we didn't even make the freaking playoffs. The freaking playoffs. Because our bullpen is full of shit. Our rotation in the playoffs is going to be very worrisome. And our offense can't nobody can swing the bat forever. And I'm so sick of this shit, because I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm so tired. I'm so frustrated. I feel like it's every single year the same damn thing with this team. I feel like it's the same complaints every single year with this team. We're not hitting. Bullpen. It's it feels like since like 2018, 17 that this has always been a conversation. Our bullpen and our offense every single time. It's always been a conversation, even though don't get me wrong, the lineups that we used to put out were embarrassing. Were embarrassing for a New York team. We were over here putting out lineups with Wilson Ramos, Abdrubal Cabrera, Ahmed Rosario, expired Robinson Cano, Jay Bruce. Our lineup was rough, but it's like a consistent thing of every single year, the same thing. We can't seem to hit the freaking bat. Like, are we just not programming? Are we not practicing enough hitting, or what's going on? If with this team that we have right now, if we don't make it to the playoffs, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm telling you right now, if we do not hit this, if we do not pick this shit up, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And I don't understand what's going on, but it's worrisome. Me personally, as a fan, looking from the outside looking in, this rotation has me worried for the playoffs. Because think about it. You have Sean Manaea, David Peterson, Clay Holmes, Kodai Senga, Frankie Montas, who's lost it, who's just gone outer space now. But if I'm gonna be honest, this rotation has me worried for the playoffs because Sean Manaea, I can have confidence in throwing him out there every time. But then think about it after that. Do you have trust in Clay Holmes, who this is his first year pitching from the starting rotation position? Are you going to have trust in Kodai Senga, who's been a bit off these last couple times? David Peterson's a coin toss. And you cannot tell me you're going to throw out there Frankie Montas. He's lost it this whole time. It looks like the injuries have caught up to him, but he's lost like a mother trucker. Then you let the rotation go and you go to our bullpen. We bring in Ryan Helmsley, Taylor Rogers, and we just can't seem to save a damn game. We score runs, but we can't keep it. Dog, we look like a joke against the Brewers. A joke. The bullpen could not hold the game for their damn life at all. We were ahead both games that we played against the Brewers, the last two. And we let them catch up because of this stupid ass bullpen we got going on. It pisses me off because it's like the same shit every year. Our bullpen. I remember one year Diaz was just embarrassing. You couldn't even throw him out there. So this rotation, it's got depth, but a lot of people are injured. And then it's worrisome because it's like Clay Holmes is his first year. You don't have trust. David Peterson could be a coin toss. Montas is not good, so you could kick him out of there. You got 3 starting rotation arms right now that you can go up there. And think about it. Do you have confidence in them against the Phillies, against the Padres, against the Dodgers? Because the way the NL is looking, Brewers are putting belt to ass on us. So if we can't beat the Brewers, then it should be a wrap against teams like Phillies and the Padres. But we got to straighten this out, man. Like, this needs to be a discussion brought up to everybody because it feels like it's the same shit every year with the Mets. Offense and bullpen is always, always, always struggling. It's always a conversation brought up every year. And it's flat out embarrassing that we're paying players 20 million plus to have a batting average of 179. Lindor, you guys, is getting paid so much money and he's batting a 179. Nimmo is getting paid so much money and he's batting a 138, for crying out loud. Alonso is playing for a contract year and he's batting a 243. We aren't going to be winning games like this at all. We got to clean this up. We literally got to clean this up because this is flat out embarrassing. Now, we have a chance to how could I say, start building a momentum. You know, we play the Braves and then the Mariners. But we got to do something because if it continues like this, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. If we lose to the Braves and then go and play the Mariners and get our ass kicked, it's a wrap. Literally, we got to straighten this out because this is embarrassing. All right. Another New York team, you guys. The New York Yankees, y'all. This team is struggling. And it's to the point where you want to blame Aaron Boone, but it's just the way things are constructed. The tools he's being given is what's messing it up. Because let's discuss one of the main issues that the Yankees are having is defense. Defense seems to be a killer for this team. I don't know what is going on, but there's 9 players on the field who are in the major leagues that make errors. And it's not once every while. It's sometimes consistently. In that Toronto series, they looked embarrassing because they didn't play defense for shit. Against the Marlins, that was embarrassing. How do you get swept by the Marlins? How? Like, you have to be doing some crazy shit to be swept by the Marlins. It don't make sense. You go out and you get a reliever in Devin Williams, who's been a major disappointment, struggles in high leverage situations. It hasn't been good at all for you guys. But listen, I'm going to be honest. This falls back on Aaron Boone. This falls back on Aaron Boone because Aaron Boone, you are the head coach at the end of the day. And if you're in the major leagues, the highest level of this sport, and you have players on a consistent basis dropping fly balls, not completing a ground ball, making throwing errors, not catching the ball, you're in trouble. That falls back on you. It really does. And it's getting to the point where they're going to have to do something because the offense is doing well. They're first in the league. But in order to win games, you need pitching, no matter what it is. We, time and time and time again, if you know baseball, you understand that pitching wins games. And their pitching has not been that good. It has not been that good at all. And Anthony Volpe, I don't understand what is going on with the guy, but he is struggling mentally. Mentally, you can tell he's struggling. He's batting a 219 with an OPS plus of 93. You guys, that is 7 points below the batting average, the average player of OPS plus. 7 points below that. He's not doing good. He's, I think, number 1 in errors made by a shortstop. You cannot win ball games like that. You cannot. And you can tell that the the frustration is getting to him with the New York everything area and everything. It's getting to him. The pressure, the stress, everything is getting to him because he's struggling. He's having a similarity situation to Gleyber Torres. He is struggling. But here's what I want to say with everybody. Aaron Boone, at the end of the day, it falls back on him 100%. But I do think that we need to put our feet on the brake and give him some slack because it is what he's being given constructing. Think about it. He has two players who are both outfielders. One of them barely played now a couple days ago after 2 years of not playing in the field, which was Giancarlo Stanton. And then you have a left fielder in Jason Dominguez who sucks in the outfield. So what happens? Those are two DHs right there that are locked in. You got a big dude that's 6'7", 260 plus pounds, and Aaron Judge, who is going to wear out, who's going to need that DH spot sometimes. So it's the way the roster is being constructed. The tools he's being given is a bit difficult. It really is. I personally, I'm trying to figure out why the Yankees didn't go after a third baseman. You had a good third baseman in the market in Eugenio Suarez. Don't really know why they didn't go for a top player in that position because it feels like shit forever now that they've needed a good player at third base and don't really understand why they haven't pulled the plug on that. You had Alex Bregman out because think about it. You've been having plateau players at third base. You had Jazz Chisholm Jr., Abdulrahman Cabrera, I believe his name was. You've had Gio Urshela, who's barely in the league. And then you had an old Josh Donaldson. So I don't understand why we haven't gone out and got like an elite third baseman to cover that corner. I really don't. But they're struggling. The bullpen, it's not been that good since mid-June. It really hasn't been. They've been losing. They let Toronto take the sweep and clean house. Now they lost to the Marlins. Not good. And as you see, Devin Williams is still struggling a little bit. He showed it a little bit against Houston. They got to clean it up. Boone is going to have to clean it up because, that's one thing. I will say he is soft. I think Boone is way too soft. I think he has like a very Yankee manager way they want him. I think he's too soft. I think he's got to come out of that shell and just go off. When you see players not hustling and you just go, that's not good. That's not good at all. And it's just not a good thing. Not a good look. That's all I'm going to say with this Yankee one. All right. Let's talk about MVP early MLB talks. So early talks about who should win MVP from AL and NO. My opinion. Everybody calm your horses down because it's just my opinion, please. Start off with the NL. The NL, you guys, is very, very, very close in matchup. It is very close between Kyle Schwarber and Shohei Ohtani. Here's why. Kyle Schwarber has a 253 batting average, while Ohtani has a 282. Schwarber has 41 home runs, and Ohtani has 40. Stolen base is 10, Ohtani has 16, and an OPS of 962, and Ohtani has a 999. But Ohtani has played over 21 more games than Kyle Schwarber, and Kyle Schwarber has these type of numbers. The race is really good between both players, but right now, I have to go with Shohei Ohtani, even though Kyle is having a great season, you guys. Ohtani has 175 OPS plus, higher slugging, and a WAR. Now, Kyle is doing a great job. Obviously, he's playing for a contract. He wants his bag. Phillies are gonna have to will spend some money on that player because if not, there's a lot of teams that can use a Kyle Schwarber who is established. I think what kills the Yankees is the DH position. But if it wasn't that, I know they would be on top of Kyle Schwarber for sure. But I think the Phillies need to keep him. Many teams are going to go after him. I think teams like who could be a good possibility that could use this gentleman. You can't count out the Dodgers, even though they got Shohei Ohtani there. You never can count them out. They don't care. Um, you got probably the Astros, maybe not really, but there's many teams that's going to use Kyle Schwarber. Many, many. Um, Phillies are going to have to pull a bag. No cap. They really are. Now from the AL, it's a bit different because you got really two people that are for sure, but it's very clear. I think it's Aaron Judge, you guys. Judge is, bro, he is a beast, man. This dude is on another level. You guys, he has a 212 OPS plus right now with an OPS still at 1,000.144 and a batting average of 339. This dude right now is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best player in Major League Baseball right now. I don't care what anybody tells me. Judge right now, by a margin, is the best player in MLB. And who's runner up to him is Cal from the Mariners. Now, he's having a good season. He's been talked a lot about because he's hitting a lot of home runs. He has a lot of RBIs, which is the only two categories he beats Judge on. But then after that, OPS plus, WAR, OPS, batting average, Judge beats him by a mile. And here's why I would give Judge the MVP over Kyle. Judge has been able to put those numbers up consistently way much more longer than Kyle has. Kyle's done it just a little bit. This is his first year where he's going crazy. He might get tested at the end, who knows, of the season. But Judge is just way better. He's been doing this way much more consistently on a consistent basis. I don't care what anybody tells me. He's been doing a way much better job. Way better job, in my opinion. Those are my MVP talks. Let me know, you guys, down below. Now, last topic of the day. Brock Lesnar returns to the WWE, my people. Now, as you guys know, he came back on at SummerSlam on Sunday to beat up John Cena for like the 7,000th time. Give him an F5 and just walk away. Now, my thoughts. I think obviously this is going to be a setup for Brock versus John Cena. Probably Saturday Night Live or maybe before Survivor Series. Who knows? I think Brock Lesnar is soon about to be done with his wrestling career. I think next year at SummerSlam in his hometown, I think will be the last. I think that's it for Brock. Even though he's in great shape still, dude's a beast. But I think it'll be, since it's in Minnesota, I think that's what will be his retirement match, and I think he'll be done in WWE or wrestling in general. I think he'll just go and just do what he got to do. But hey, it's controversial. Very a lot of people aren't too happy that he came back, but hey, he's clear from his case, you guys. Obviously, they brought him back because if not, he wouldn't have been back here. He's clear. He's good to go. Let's get the last and final time John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Now, let's say, for example, SummerSlam next year is his last match. Who goes out and faces Brock Lesnar? That would be the ultimate question. Who is Brock Lesnar's last opponent ever? That would be a lovely question. I think Gunther would be a nice one. I think Gunther would be very nice. Braun Breaker would be badass. That would be badass. That'd be a nice, interesting match between the two. Who would be another one? Omar Femi would be nice from NXT. That'd be a nice match between those three monsters. Um, Tribal Chief, you can't count him out, but I don't see that happening anymore. I think that's it. I don't see Cody Rhodes anymore. Seth Rollins, not really. I don't think so. I don't think they want to go down that path again. Um, it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. Um, but let's hope we'll see what end up happening. All right, one last thing I forgot, and we're out of here, my people. So, we're going to be taking a look at the way too early MLB free agency predictions post the deadline. So, these are the players that are basically going to get, in their opinion, the Bleacher Reports, more than $100 million plus. So, we're going to give our thoughts and go from there. So, um, Zach Gallen from the Arizona Diamondbacks, they are predicting that he stays with the Diamondbacks, and Dylan Cease, yeah, that he stays in Arizona, and that Dylan Cease signs with the New York Mets. Now, here's my thing. Zach Gallen has not been having a good year. He has not been doing well. He has been struggling this season. I think he will probably end up being one of those players that it's going to be like a prove it deal, maybe similar to like what a Luis Severino did, because I don't think no team right now in their right minds is going to pay him $100 million plus. That would be very dumb. Dylan Cease going to the Mets, it could be a possibility, but the thing is, the way David Stearns operates, I don't see him willing to pay a starting pitcher $100 million plus. It's just me personally. I don't see that happening. I could see Dylan Cease staying with the Padres or just going flat out to like a different team. But I don't think David Stearns is going to be willing to pay that much money, in my opinion, for a starting pitcher. I just don't think so. Shane Bieber from the Toronto Blue Jays, who just got traded to them. They are predicting that he goes to the Los Angeles Angels. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to get $100 million plus on top of that, because he's coming back from injury, and I think the Blue Jays are going to want to keep him. That's why they traded for him. I don't see that happening at all. Michael King. This is a gentleman that if he does good, I think he could get a good paycheck. Maybe like a 5-year, $100 million contract, possibly, maybe 6, 7. They predict that he's going to sign back with the Padres on a 3-year deal. So I don't know if they think he's going to get $100 million, because I don't think they're going to pay him 3 years, $100 million. What would that be like? Let me see real quick. 100 divided by 3. That's 33 million. Ooh, for Michael King. For 3 years, 33.3 million. Possibly. I think it's going to be a shuffle, because I think the thing is Michael King's probably going to have a lot of teams going after him. Like I could see the Yankees going after him, maybe the Mets, um, maybe the Rangers end up going after him, because there's a lot of teams that are going to need some starting pitchers. But for 3 years, I don't see him getting 100 million just for 3 years. I think that will be too much for Michael King. I don't think that will happen. Could I see him going back to the Padres? I think so, but I don't know. It's going to be hard because there's a lot of teams going after him. Eugenio Suarez, third baseman from the Mariners. I could see him getting close to 100 million. I want to say maybe 85, 90, because he is 34 years old. He's getting older. I don't know. I think more teams are going to be more hesitant to give him that type of money. But they're predicting that he doesn't actually sniff 100 million. But he ends up going to like a 2-year deal on an unexpected team like the Athletics or Nationals. The Nationals, I don't see it happening. I think the Nationals want to rely on their young pieces a lot. And the Athletics, I don't think they want to spend money yet. I think they want to just continue growing especially after you saw that they traded Mason Miller and everybody. They're not going to want to go and spend money and 100 million on a third base. That I don't see that happening, especially a 34-year-old. I could see him possibly maybe ending up on the Yankees. Maybe stays with Seattle. Uh, who would be a nice other fit for him? Um, hell, possibly. Damn. Uh, that'd be rough. It really would be rough. I don't. I'm trying to think of the teams, but I don't see them, the Nationals or the Athletics, picking him up. I could see the Yankees trying to maybe pull the plug on him. I just don't know. He's 34 years old. I don't know if a team's gonna want to pay 100 million. Cody Bellinger, first baseman, outfielder of the New York Yankees. I could see him getting 100 million. They're predicting that he signs a 3-4 year deal with the Giants. The Giants, I could see that happening. Um, he would possibly be their outfielder. I don't know if the Giants are going to want him though, because they have a pretty good center fielder. And then already got Rafael Devers at first base. Um, the thing is, what's good with Cody is that he's very plateau. If I was the Yankees, I'd personally keep him because I think he would be very good of a plateau player. Especially eventually once you move Judge to first base, you want to probably keep him out in the outfield. He's a good player. I'd probably say the Yankees should keep him. Um, will he get? I think they're predicting 3 years, 80 million. That could be a possibility. Cody Bellinger, he's a good player. Luis Arias from the Padres. They are predicting that he gets a 6 year, $90 million ish deal with the Yankees. Ooh. My gut is telling me no. And here's why. Luis Arias is not the type of player that the Yankees like. The Yankees like home run hitters. And Luis Arias is a singles hitter. And I think they're not going to be willing to pay that much money to another DJ LeMahieu type player. Even though Luis could hit way much more. But I don't see that happening, me personally. I don't see them doing that. I could see Luis leaving the Padres, maybe going to like a team like I could see the Angels splashing that type of money, like, drunken sailors. Um, but I personally don't see the Yankees doing that. Me, to be honest. Um, it's gonna be fun. It will be very fun. I don't see that though. I really don't. It's gonna be hard. Now let's talk about Pete Alonso. So they are predicting that he's gonna get 6 years, 180 million, as I guess what he wanted. That's gonna be interesting. It will be very interesting what ends up happening with Pete because he's just not having a good season. The Mets attacking Kyle Schwarber, I think would be nice. I think it's gonna make it a little bit difficult, but I kind of like Kyle Schwarber to the Mets. I think with Starling Marte coming off the books, you have Soto and right. You got Mark Vientos at third. You got Pete at first. Your DH is a bit of a frascal it's a bit of a frascal between Brett Beatty, Ronnie Mauricio, um, Taylor or Jeff McNeil, everything like that. Jesse Winker, who you also have. I think it would be very nice if we were to get Kyle Schwarber, especially taking him away for the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber's a beast, y'all. He's that motherfucker can hit. I think it would be very nice. I think the Phillies are going to keep him though because they need him. I think the Phillies would rather get rid of Nick Castellanos before him, but I would love Kyle Schwarber to go to the Mets. That would be very nice. Framil Valdez. Um, let's see. So they think Framil Valdez is going to go to the Red Sox. I don't Valdez to the Red Sox. They do like lefties, but I don't know. They're predicting he's gonna get 6 years, 168 million. Mm. I could see Valdez going more to the Rangers than the Red Sox, being that number 3 or number 2 pitcher in that rotation. I could see that happening more than the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox aren't really gonna splash like that. Um, I just don't see that happening. Me personally, Kyle Tucker to the Chicago Cubs. That's gonna be fun. It'll be really interesting to see where he ends up. I think the Yankees will probably make a splash, and that will be the reason why Cody Bellinger walks. But it'll be fun. I think it'll be really interesting where he ends up going. But I'm gonna wrap it up here, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. We are going to move back into going into it slowly and slowly. Trust me, we are. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Bye bye.